Could military or experimental research be using our dreams as a way to control or manipulate our thoughts? There are actual studies that dreams can be influenced. A famous example is Michael Persinger's God Helmet, a device that uses electromagnetic stimulation to the brain, triggering visions and even hallucinatory experiences. People who used the helmet reported strange sensations from religious experiences to vivid dreams.
I have had some weird experiences. I've had out-of-body experiences, lucid dreams, visions. I've taken loads of different drugs. I've had some interesting experiences. But the weirdest I've ever had was induced by Michael Persinger. He does experiments on the brain. What he does is to put a rapidly fluctuating magnetic field across the temporal lobes of the brain. He puts on his subjects a kind of like modified motorcycle helmet thing with solenoids in the side to produce these fields. And he claims that he can actually produce different kinds of experience by varying the field, the pattern of changes in this field across your head. And he's published various studies suggesting that he can produce out-of-body experiences something like alien abductions, strange bodily sensations, and so on. And how I got involved in this was that I was asked by the BBC to present a Horizon programme on alien abductions.
Technology can access and influence our brainwaves in ways we've never known before.
So one of the things we did for the programme was to go and visit Michael Persinger in Canada, and I was put into this box, where it all happens. Well, I have been in situations like that without the motorcycle helmet. I've often been, in sensory deprivation, in Ganzfeld, where you have ping pong balls on the eyes and white noise. So this is a familiar situation to me. And what happened was not familiar at all. There I was, lying there. And really nothing much happened, slight drifty feelings, like I would expect. And then suddenly, I felt as though my whole body was getting stretched longer and longer and longer, and as though my left leg was being pulled right up the wall, as though it had sort of like stretched, and then it went back again. And that was so sudden and so weird. I was like, wow, that's, really weird. And then it was as though somebody had got hold of my shoulders and was like pulling my shoulders as though it was pulling me up. So I simultaneously knew that I was still lying down on this thing, and yet felt that I was sitting up. Fine, nothing happens for a bit, and I'm just lying there, just drifty sort, feelings. A bit as though I might be on the verge of having an out-of-body experience, but it never really happened. That sort of a feeling. And then suddenly I was angry. Really bizarre. I was furiously, do you know how sometimes you get angry? You just really, so mad. That sort of feeling, suddenly, there wasn't anything to be angry about, and then it was gone. And, okay. And then suddenly I was really frightened in the same kind of way. I don't know what I was frightened of. It was just this awful fear, like creepy, skin-crawling, horrible fear came over me and went away again. And these experiences were so powerful that the thought I was left with really was this. I knew I had this motorcycle helmet on. I could say, oh, well, this is because of the motorcycle helmet. But what if you had those experiences without a motorcycle helmet?